For almost 2,000 years, there's been this one place that has absolutely haunted our collective memory, the Great Library of Alexandria. It wasn't just a building full of scrolls. It was this incredible dream of collecting all of the world's knowledge under one roof. And then, it was gone.
And that's the real mystery here, isn't it? What amazing histories, forgotten technologies, and lost masterpieces were just wiped from existence. It's basically a historical cold case. And today, we're going to dig in and look for some clues.
To really wrap your head around the scale of this loss, think about this number. At its absolute peak, the library was estimated to hold up to 400,000 scrolls. Every single one of them was a unique window into the ancient world. That's a number that's almost impossible to even comprehend today.
Okay, so to really understand what was lost, we first have to appreciate just how ambitious this whole project was. This wasn't just a storage facility. It was a dream to contain all of human knowledge.
Founded way back in the 3rd century BC in Egypt, this place wasn't just a library. No. For centuries, it was the undisputed intellectual heart of the known world. It was a total beacon for scholars, scientists, and thinkers from all over.
And the mission? The sheer scope of it is what's truly mind-boggling. It was founded by the Ptolemaic dynasty as part of this bigger research center they called the Mauseon. And their goal was so simple and yet impossibly grand. Get a copy of every single scroll in existence. They wanted to gather up all the knowledge from Greece, from Egypt, and from basically every civilization they could reach. Of course, the most famous part of this story isn't how it was built, but how it was destroyed. It's this epic tale of fire, tragedy, and a loss so catastrophic that it has echoed down through the millennia.
We all think we know the story, right? This single massive fire, often blamed on Julius Caesar, that just consumed the entire library in one go, basically plunging the world into a dark age. It's super dramatic, it's tragic, and
Yeah, it's almost entirely a myth. The real story is way more complicated, and honestly, in a lot of ways, it's even more tragic.
So, the dramatic myth gives us this one, clean, catastrophic fire. But the reality? The Library of Alexandria didn't burn down in a day. It just faded away. It suffered this slow, painful death over centuries, from neglect, budget cuts, and constant conflict.
And this is the real story of how the library ended. It wasn't one clean break. It was a long, agonizing decline. You could really call it a death by 1,000 cuts. You see, the decline happened in stages. Way back in 48 BC, there was a fire during Julius Caesar's civil war, but it only damaged a warehouse of scrolls, not the main library. Then, centuries later, imperial conflicts just tore through the city, damaging the institution itself. The final blows really came around 391 AD, when new decrees against paganism led to the destruction of the temples that housed the last bits of the collection.
So what really destroyed the library? It wasn't one big fire. It was all of these things combined. Funding got slashed, scholars were kicked out during political upheavals, the city itself was always a site of conflict. And at the end of the day, cultural priorities just shifted away from preserving this massive collection of what was seen as ancient pagan knowledge.
So, knowing how the library was lost is one thing. But the question that really truly fascinates all of us is, what exactly was lost? What are the ghosts that are still lingering on those empty shelves?
this right here is the heart of the whole matter. We're not just talking about old books. We're talking about entire worlds of thought that have been completely wiped from the historical record.
Just stop and think for a second about what was on those scrolls. Scientific principles we might have only rediscovered centuries later during the Renaissance. First-hand histories of Egypt written by actual Egyptians, not their conquerors. Countless original plays, epic poems, and amazing stories that now, well, they exist only as rumors, if they exist at all.
And that is the most profound and frankly frustrating truth of it all. We can speculate, we can guess, but we will never, ever truly know the full extent of what humanity lost. The number of unique works that vanished without a single trace is simply unknown.
So why does this ancient story still have such a powerful hold on us today? Well, it's because it's more than just history. It's a lesson that keeps echoing through time.
You see, its demise wasn't just some sad event for historians to study. It really represents something much bigger, a fundamental truth about civilization itself.
Ultimately, the story of Alexandria is a timeless, urgent warning. It teaches us that knowledge isn't permanent. It's not guaranteed. It has to be actively protected and preserved because it can be so easily lost to apathy, politics, and conflict.
And that leaves us with a final, pretty sobering thought. The scrolls of Alexandria turned to dust centuries ago, but the forces that destroyed them, neglect, conflict, cultural shifts, they're still with us. Which has to make you wonder, in our own digital age, with all our technology, what knowledge are we at risk of losing forever?